Manashmai Mishpaka Oxanakwafs. This is Sunday morning, 6 something, final day of the Feast of Tabernacle. I'm by myself at this moment. Came down to me by myself. I did start off with my wife and my son. Now I'm by myself. Everybody flaked out, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm by myself out here. Got stuck out in the rain. It was a rainstorm in Dale Valley, which is where I'm at. Right here in the camp area. So I had to leave for a minute to get everything situated. Everything got wet, electrical and gear and stuff. So I had to go fix that stuff up and I came back out here to finish my tabernacle. It's been raining all night, but it ain't flood because I'm in the high ground area. I had to talk to the office people. They showed me where they gave me access to go to the different area where I'll be in the high flood, you know. I'll be in a place where it's the highest here at the camp. So I'm at the highest area of the camp. I'm at number 5 right now at this moment. And it's a few more high points, but I came here, been hearing stuff all through the night. The moisture came since the rain. Everything is moist. Everything is moist. I probably should have put I got like a rain tarp that goes on top of this tent that I'm at. This tent is pretty big though, you know. Got my little lights, got this little fan, you know. But yeah, he's great, he's good, he's worthy to be praised. It's worth keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep keeping them, I ain't gonna complain. Everything that could have went wrong, this tabernacle went wrong. Everything. I got my vehicle stuck twice. My truck got stuck twice in the mud. It's stuck in the mud right now as we speak because I try to go back out because my son didn't give me, he forgot to give me a pot to make something to eat. And, yeah, I'm, trying to give me a pot to get something to eat. I couldn't find a pot, so I realized he didn't have it. So I just had some beef hot dogs. No pork hot dogs. I had some beef hot dogs that I put in the spike and, I stuck it up with one of my pegs that holds the tent down, stuck it inside, and then I just cooked it on this little grill over here. And I got a little grill this way. See that? This is my area. I got my little tote, because last time everything got wet, and that ain't gonna happen again. Got my tote, got my fan, my jackery, you know. I got my walking stick. And y'all already know. I got the shofar. Matter of fact, let's sound it off. Right? Sound off on the shofar. Y'all know I got this with me. I was hearing a lot of noises out there. Sound like a bunch of wild dogs was coming up barking. I don't know if they was wild. They weren't actually wild dogs, but then they was dogs. So they was growling over here by the tent, so I came and grabbed this bad baby. Was prepared to do what needed to be done if I had to do it. But it probably was somebody's dogs, a few dogs that they had. But yeah, it's my little water. I got a little radio over there. Everything is moist now in here because of the rain all day, so it's making it very uncomfortable in here. Condensation is real. It even balled up over here. I had to throw one of my sheets down because you know what I mean, the moisture, and it makes it moist inside of here. So maybe I'm at the point where I could just roll down the, maybe I'm at the point now where I could just roll down the windows, get some air in here, and that should help me with the condensation going on. That's exactly what I'm about to do now. But yeah, this is my little. I'll show y'all my little cot right here. Let me turn on this light. I got another flashlight right here. A little teeny weeny flashlight. But don't be fooled by this. It's a little small Olight, but it's power good. This is my little bed. See that? Ella Gear Camping. Just one little mat, man. This little thing. I should have blew it up better, but anyway, moisture is all in the corners. There was one centipede in here that I had to kill. That's my Feast of Tabernacle. That's my little radio. That's my fringes. Got some ramens over there. My box, book bag, and tote. Got some. So yeah, man. Anyway, God is good. I give him the honor, the praise. I give him the honor, the praise, and the glory. Thankful that he chose to. Thankful that he chose to put that spirit on me to keep his law, statutes, commandments. Because not everybody get that spirit put on them. A lot of them fight that spirit. And all grace to the Most High that he put on my spirit to sit here and just, do them. Keep the commandments. And I felt a lot better that I am doing them, I think maybe if I open this up, it's going to help with the conversation. Let's see. You'll see it's still dark outside. That's outside right there. What you seeing? Flashlight. See that? That's a mesh you will be able to see, but it's just so dark. Can't see anything. Oh, what's over here? Yeah, I'm already back up. It seems like mosquitoes trying to come fly over here. I'll just leave a little bit open, just enough to get a little area. But it's my camping fan right here. It's not bad. It's pretty good. One of my brothers told me about it. But anyway, I was congregating with a couple people. But, you know what I mean? I was congregating with a couple people. They left. The wife, she left. My son, he I could tell he probably maybe was ready to go. He had his reasons why he was ready to go. But he did come and he was staying with me out, It's like 3 nights. 3 nights he stayed with me. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Yeah. Yeah, he stayed with me still early in the morning, no coffee. My wife texting me right now, but yeah, I'm just waking up. I got my back kind of hurt a little bit, but that's what being in the wilderness for. Everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong. Yeah, everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong because, man, been pretty tough tabernacle, but it's been a blessing at the same time. I ain't gonna sit here and cry about it. I'm happy. I'll be more prepared for the Feast of Dedication in December. I think mine is in December the 28th. It starts 28th and then goes 7 days. So I'm thankful. I'm blessed to be here. I thank God that I got my peace, that I'm by myself, because if people, if you're doing this, if you're tabernacling and you try to bring your family and they might be ready to go, and they might be happy initially, they're happy initially, then they ready to go. It's better just to let them go before you start to bump heads. That's what I did, for my wife and son, because they're not really in the truth right now, but they're working on it. And glory to Yahweh. Maybe if it's His will, maybe they will make it. Maybe they will come to this truth before they sold the parts from their body, and because when they sold the parts from the body, man, that's it, man. It's appointed a man to die once. After that, it's judgment. It's judgment time. He is going to, every man and woman is going to have to give an account for what they did in their body, and their thoughts, and their deeds. They're going to have to give an account. I am a commandment keeper, and I have faith in Yahweh Shai, Jesus, Hamashiach, the Messiah, or the Christ. I have faith in him. I believe as a commandment keeper, you must have both of those. I don't know if y'all know, like at some vaults at the bank, you know what I mean, you want to open up the vault, the bank vault, you need one person on that side, you need another person on the other side, and they say, hey, 1, 2, 3, turn. They both simultaneously turn the key. And that simultaneously turning the key is the only way you can open that door. You can't open that door, that bank vault, with one key over here. Even if you turn that key and you turn that other key on the other side, y'all must do it at the same time. And I pair that with having faith in Yahweh Shai and keeping the commandments of God. You must do them both. You know what I mean? You got people that believe otherwise, and that's their prerogative. You know, I do identify as a commandment keeper, and I identify also as a Hebrew Israelite or Israelite, whatever y'all want to identify me as. Even though I'm not associated with anybody, I have different beliefs. You know, as far as other nations are concerned, I do believe that they will be called, they are proselytes. Other nations, they can, if they choose to cleave into Israel, they can cleave into Israel. You know, if that's what they decide to do, they can do according to some scriptures. I have scriptures here and there that I could bring up and reference. And yeah, I believe in that. But most of the places and the camps that I go to, they don't believe that. Very few believe it. But so everybody, some camps do, but most of the camps don't. So that's why it's always good for y'all not to judge everybody a book by its cover. If you see a man with fringes and a woman with fringes on and a head covering or whatever, or you know what, let me take that off because I don't even supposed to be on. Because I'm praying, I'm prepare prophesy. Just keep your hair uncovered for a man. And you know, let me go ahead and move that off. Salakia Yahweh, just forgive me. So yeah, don't judge all camps the same. They are not the same. You know, I was with one group very, very, very briefly in my walk, and I've been doing this for about, I'm gonna say, at least 3-4 years. You know, for about 3-4 years, I've been in the truth for about 3-4 years, closer to 4, about 4, yeah, about 4 years, maybe even 5. You know, I just I'll have to go back and look and see. But yeah, not every commandment keeper. You know, you see us with our fringes, and you may see us walking with our fringes and our head covering or whatever, our turbans, and don't assume the worst. You know, because everybody is different. Just like in Christianity, you got a lot of different people that believe a lot of different things, and they, you know, you got different denominations in that. You know, you got the Christians and you know, non-denominational Catholics and all that stuff. It's the same way in this thing, and this, you know, that's just how it is. But yeah, I was with one group very briefly. I was visiting for a little bit, and then I decided to become a member. And then okay, so let me go back. I visited a specific camp. I was visiting on the Shabbats, but I was just a visitor. You know, I was just visiting. I did that off and on for about a year. Off and on. I did it for like a few months, and then I stopped for a little while, like 3 or 4 months, and then I came back and stayed until the year was out. So I'm gonna say maybe out of a year, I probably was there before I became a member, off and on. I'm gonna say maybe 6 months there on, 6 months off, somewhere around there. 7 and 6. You know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean 7 and 5 that I was going, 5 I wasn't going, or even half and half. I'm not really sure on that time, but it was pretty much split down the middle, and everything was good. Then the moment I became a member, I became a member. I kept going, and then I had some issues that popped up in my life. For a few different things. That's my business. Um, they say you want to have a friend, prove them first, and that goes both ways. You know what I mean? They wasn't proven enough yet to be my friends for me to feel the way that I need to come and speak to them about certain things at that time of my personal life that was going on. But everything was good, up until that point. Nothing happened, nothing bad happened, or everything. I wanted to be around the congregation, because I felt like, hey, I see brothers that's, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They preaching, they're trying to bring peace and prosperity and blessings to Israel, and I'm in agreement with that. So back to where I was at. I fell off the map for a bit from attending the Shabbats. I stopped attending the Shabbats for a while. Then the issue that I had dealt with, I resolved the issue, and it took me a while to do that, a few months, turn my lights this way. Yeah, it took me a few months to resolve the issue, right? So, I resolved the issue, and then I reached out to him via email, like, hey, look, me and my son, I ended up getting my son back. So down here, that was one thing. So I was like, hey, can we send hey, Shalom, Ox, or leadership, Shalom. Can me and my son join the Shabbat? And they like, oh, before we answer that question, what happened when such and such reached out to you and you didn't respond? And I told them why I didn't respond. They didn't eat. I said, you know what, I didn't even think they was not gonna not I know it was gonna be like this. But anyway, I just let them know. I'm like, look, I was going through some stuff, and I didn't have his phone call, so I guess he reached out to me via phone, and my phone, long story short, then I didn't have my phone. Ended up having to give a brand new phone. So I told him that situation, and after I told him that situation, they never responded back. So, man, y'all can just be careful when you go to these camps, man. In some of these camps, they'll talk about what other people did to them, and then they'll turn around and do worse to the person than somebody else. There's a lot of people in there. They're hurt, they're broke down, and they've been through stuff from somewhere else, and now that spirit of destruction is on them. And I'm not saying that's what it was by this particular camp, but I'm just saying y'all be careful about who y'all depend on. I'm congregating right now with my brother. He's not right now, but we do it via phone because that's all I got. I don't have I don't have a congregation that I can really go to at this moment. And I was thinking about going to another specific camp, but I don't believe in everything they believe in. For the sake of congregation, I'm not about to congregate with somebody and say, oh yeah, for the sake of congregation, I'm going to go here or I'm going to go there. No, you don't want to do that, man. You don't want to do that. Stand tall, 10 toes down on your own, man. On your own beliefs. In accordance to the word, of course. If something that tell you not to go somewhere, don't go. And if you want to go for the sake of congregation, don't do it. You must be comfortable with where you want to go. And where I went, to be honest, I didn't see anything wrong. I thought I did my due diligence in observing and seeing if everything was right. And even before I was a member, when I was a visitor, when I was just visiting, I disappeared for a while and I came back. I said, hey, this brother Kwame Allah, such and such. Can I continue Shabbat? They said, oh yeah, of course, Shalom Ak. Yeah, we'll see you Saturday. That was when I was a visitor. I'm just visiting. Then when I became a member, shortly afterwards, same thing occurred. Cut me off. Hey, like, yeah, no, such as, they didn't really respond. I think one of them had made a video about a situation similar to mine. I don't know if they were talking to me directly, but I didn't even watch it because I refuse to be caught up in hate or You know, seems like people be going through stuff and have went through stuff where they came from, and then they bring that spirit and try to put that spirit on you. That spirit's not going to be put on me because, you know, like I said, if you have a friend, to have a friend, prove them first. And now I was not friends with anyone yet. They were still my brothers and sisters, and I had love for them in that way and would protect them in that way. But as far as us having a connection and me, you know, being around with them all this time, I never had that. Because when I came to the Most High, you know, all praises, I was solo. I came alone. It was just me and my brother on the phone. You know, Los. It was just me and him. Kwame, Allah, and Los. We rock it on the phone every day, giving him praise, congregating together. You know, you got groups that say, "Oh, that's not congregation." Hey, look, we'll let the Most High deal with what congregation is. It's a gathering of saints, and technology has increased, and I believe that is gathering, especially if that's all you have. Now, if it's a place close that you can camp with, a group, whatever that you have, and you in the vicinity of them, and you just don't go, okay, then that doesn't make any sense. You probably should just go. But if you don't have a camp, don't let them suck you in, you know, suck you into a place that you're not sure you want to be. Or I'm not saying don't go. I'm not saying go. I'm saying you can congregate with who you congregate with. And if that's all you got to congregate with, and however via video, via cell phone, if that's what you have, then that's what you have. You know, obviously, if you can get to a group of believers that y'all can gather together with, then get with them. Don't forsake it. But if you don't have it, don't get desperate and go run off, flip off from Christianity. Now you're supposed to be a commandment keeper, and now you're doing the same thing, the same dependence that you had with the Christians that you have here. In the truth, in the commandment, as a commandment keeper, don't have that same spirit. Knock that off, and don't feel like you need to have that, man, because you don't feel like you need to have people around you. And I praise Yah, you know, that I wasn't like that. You know, you got a lot of people that is involved with the camps, dealing with the camps. They feel like they need to be around. I have to be around my people. If they gone or they forsake me, oh, my whole life is ruined. I've actually seen it. You know, I've seen videos on it. So I'm always wary, you know, just like people got hurt in the Christian church, you can get hurt here too, in this truth. In this commandment keeping, you know, camp type situation. You know, obviously love your brothers, love your sisters, but always be aware. Don't become dependent on no man. Oh, you know, shout out to this person. That's double honors to the apostles and the elders. And okay, that's all cool, but understand, when your soul leaves your body, only person you're gonna have to give account to is the Most High, and you need to be acting like that now. You don't kiss butt unless it's his. You know what I mean? And I have nothing bad happened to me there. I'm just saying in general from things that I've seen, and from with this particular camp, which I'm not going to mention the name of, what they seem to have done to me. Now maybe, you know, it's still fresh too, so maybe they might reach out to me after this tabernacle. Because I called them a little bit before blowing the trumpets. They didn't respond. You know, they did respond initially because I wanted to attend the Shabbat right before that with me and my son, who I, you know, just got back with me. And they asked me that question, oh, why didn't you reach out, you know, Blase speak? And I told them why I didn't reach out, and then no more calls. And then I reached out on the Day of Atonement. Why? Because it's Day of Atonement. You wanna, if you offended somebody or hurt somebody or did anything to someone, knowingly or unknowingly, and you feel like maybe you have offended them, you're supposed to ask for forgiveness, you know, because it was the Day of Atonement Day of Atonement was coming up. I actually reached out the day after Atonement. I meant to reach out on Atonement, but I didn't reach out on Atonement because I had a lot going on myself, I guess. And I reached out and let them know, hey, look, you know, Salakia brothers, and you know, whoever, you know, family. I said family because I don't really give titles, you know. I said Salakia family. No, Shalom family. I just want to say, hey, look, if I offended any of you brothers and sisters or anyone, forgive me, because you know this is the Day of Atonement coming up. Day of Atonement. It's the day after the Day of Atonement. If I offended any one of you at all, you know, because I feel like they when I didn't when they had the brother reach out to me, I didn't respond, and they thought I just didn't respond because I looked at it and saw it and didn't respond. But I literally didn't have a way to communicate with them at that time, and I let them know that much, kept it short, and but at the same time, you know, after they didn't respond and all that stuff, you know, oh, why didn't you reach out, such and such? I understand that, but I feel like the having a heart of Yahweh Shai. If a brother, if that's supposed to be your brother who you supposed to love and say, oh yeah, we need to come together, blocka, blocka, blocka. You know, we need to come together. We need to know how to love each other. We need to know how to love on one another. And then as soon as a situation pop up where a brother disappeared for a minute, never did nothing in the church to offend anybody or outside the church that y'all know of, to your acknowledgement, why would you move like that? You're supposed to move with brotherly love, remember? That's what you're supposed to move with, but you don't. So just be careful. That's all. You know, be careful with these people. They'll smile and tell you one thing, and then it's something else. You know what I mean? I'm not in any wise trying to tell people don't go to camps. Man, just try to be with a group of brothers and sisters who you know are genuine. They love the Lord, you know. And if you see people starting to get proud, arrogant and stuff, if the Spirit is telling you step away, step away. And I'm thinking I'm at this point now, you know, because my brother's like, oh, they might reach out to you after the tabernacles, after all the stuff. Because I reached out like a Shabbat or two, a few Shabbats before the blowing and trumpets. You know, got my, you know, everything back together. Yeah, why didn't you reach out? Because of this situation happened. Didn't have my phone and such. And then a day after, it told me, hey, forgive me if I offended one of y'all. No response. It's all good though. So I kept more blowing the trumpets with me and my son. I kept the Day of Atonement with me and my son. I kept Feast of Tabernacle. It started off with my wife and my son, but then it ended off with me by myself. And God is great. God is good. He's awesome. I congregate with my brother over the phone now via phone. Why? Because that's all I have. And I'm not, I'll think twice before just jumping in the camp. Even if it's, and everything seemed good with him. And I'm not talking bad about him. Let's not get it twisted. Oh, I'm not, oh, blah, 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 they this and that and that. No, I'm not talking bad about him. I just didn't like the way, I don't like the way things is being handled. And that's okay. Right? I don't like the way it's being handled, but that's okay. I learn, and I still reach out and say, hey, brothers and sisters, hey, brothers, you know, whoever, elders and deacons, if I offended y'all, Salakia, you know, that was never my intentions. And that's what I said. Salakia, if I offended any of you, it's the Day of Atonement approaching, or Day of Atonement is here. If I offended anybody, forgive me for that. It was never my intention to do so. And only thing, you know, that they could say I did is not go to the Shabbats. But I was coming to the Shabbats all the time, and I was also giving my alms. Giving pretty good alms for the year, even though I was only there a little bit. Then the new year started, and I didn't give as much as I wanted to as last year, but I was gonna finish that off. I was gonna give a lot more alms this year, but I, you know, I ended up leaving, and then I was gonna come back and still try to make up a certain amount of, because I had a number in my head what I was gonna pay, you know, what I was gonna give alms to for the year. No matter if I start off late or not, this is what I'm gonna give for the year within my budget. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was gonna do, but I didn't. Yeah, in this situation ended up happening, and they act like, you know, I feel like, oh, I'm your daddy. Oh, well, yeah, why didn't you do it? And then not reach out? I think they did, like I said, I think they did a video a little shortly after that, you know. And one of these particular brothers, I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna mention the cap, I'm not gonna miss his name. He got done wrong real greasy, and one of the places he came from, and he was talking about how bad they did him, and then he became in position here, a higher position, and he turned around. It seems to me now that he is doing almost the same thing, maybe not as harsh, but in some form of way. Why? Because I'm a brother, you know what I mean? I'm supposed to be your Ak, and I've never offended anybody, never done anything wrong. When I was there, I helped out, you know what I mean? And the moment I stopped coming, y'all ain't even say, hey, brother, it's glad to have you back. Shalom, Ak. And you know, when you get situated, of course you can. Hey, of course you can attend the Shabbat. Maybe after the Shabbat, we see what was going on. Why did you disappear? And you know, you can come to us. We your brothers. We got your back. They didn't do that, bro. They sat there and ignored. They did the whole opposite. You know what I mean? Seems like they put out a video as well, but I'm not sure. Like I said, it seemed like the video was going where I thought it was. I watched like 5 minutes of it, and I just stepped back. Like, you know what? I refuse to be involved with that type of nonsense, because the spirit of the Ruach is really in me. Whether my falls, my ups or downs, that matters not, because the only person we're going to have to give account to is Yahweh. You know, that's the one we're going to have to give account to. Now, you know, like I said, I have nothing against them. I haven't done anything, you know, I have nothing really against them. I even reached out and asked for forgiveness for offending them, because Day of Atonement was here. And that's what you're supposed to do in the atonement. If you offended someone, or you believe to have offended someone, ask for forgiveness. So not just them. I reached out to my brother, because who I talk to, who I congregate with all the time. My mother, you know, I felt like I may have offended her a couple of times. My manager, I told him, I asked him, you know, hey man, if I offended you, just know that it wasn't intentional. Forgive me. I reached out to all the people who I'm always around, the ones who I feel like I could have offended by mistake, and that's what I did. And I didn't do that because, oh, I know I did offend them. I did it because just in case I offended them, because sometimes we start talking and we may offend somebody and not even know it. And likewise, I reached out to them just the same as I reached out to everybody else. But you are no better than nobody else. You are no better pedestal. I'm not gonna look at you like you are on no pedestal. Oh yeah, oh my God, leadership, good. Nah, bruh, I'm looking at you like a man. I think that's another reason why they don't want me back, because they can see that I'm my own man. You know, obviously I'm there to congregate, but I'm still my own man. I'm there to congregate, but I'm my own man. I'm not about to be controlled. And I'm so glad that I never got a chance to even put my heart. My heart is in the truth. My heart is in being a commandment keeper. My heart is not in man. And I thank the Most High I'm not like that. So I'm just doing this because I'm by myself now in the camp. I'm by myself at my campsite, and I never talked about it. And it's still really recently new, because my other Ak, my actual Ak, my blood, he like, hey, they might even reach out to you after the High Holy Days is over. I'm like, well, why would they do that? What if a brother trying to keep the High Holy Days and he don't want to miss it? Why would y'all wait till after it's over? You know, that's just a thought. We don't know for sure if that's what's going to happen. I don't believe they're going to reach out at all. He said they're going to reach out after the High Holy Days. So basically, as a punishment, you missed Memorial blowing the trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles, and and the Shabbats in between, because you can't. Which I've been keeping my I never stopped keeping what I needed to keep. I kept my High Holy Days. You think you gonna if y'all let a man stop y'all, bro, y'all stupid. You know, you're not thinking straight. If you let a man stop you and they say, oh yeah, y'all can't come in my camp, or they ignore you, and that was your camp, and a situation occurred, whatever, don't stop serving Yahweh. Continue to keep the commandments, keep the High Holy Days, because you the one who's going to have to give an account. You're going to have to give an account when he comes, right? You're going to have to give an account. You're going to be responsible. You're going to be responsible to say, yo, he going to be like, hey, you been keeping my commandments? No, because they can't keep me out of the camp. Nigga, what? Who cares? Why didn't you keep doing what you needed to do for yourself? I'm the one who decides where you go. Don't fear man who could just destroy the body and they can't do no more. Fear him who has the power to destroy both body and soul and cast into the lake of fire. You feel me? Don't fear man. If things not going right with man, you continue to walk the path and be okay with that. That's the key. Don't let it affect you. I think a lot of these brothers in these camps, man, they emotionally wrecked. I was talking to my actual blood brother who's also a commandment keeper. And we was talking about the situation, about what I was going through. I'm like, yeah, man, that dude broke. He broke. You can see it in his eyes, man. You can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his face. And I think he came here and did this to try to help with that, and that's okay. But don't try to push that spirit off on somebody else over something minor. even if it ain't minor. You're supposed to go get some counseling, get some help, and then regroup and come back better, and always make sure you don't ever want to do to someone else what that person did to you in any way, shape, or form. You want to be better than that. Like something like how we grow up in the hood. A lot of us grow up without our fathers, and we make a vow to ourselves, like, you know what, I'm gonna always be there for my kid because my father wasn't there for me. And that's what I've done with my son. Yeah. So our praise to the Most High. This is the last day of the tabernacle. Day 7. I'm gonna be gathering stuff up before the sunset. By the time the sun set, I'm gonna be out of here, heading back home. I gotta put the stuff. I had to put this tent up by myself. It was kind of tough. I thought it was gonna be easy. It was a lot harder than I thought, but it's still easy to put up in general. I just never did it by myself. Everything was swinging and stuff out the way. But family, I love y'all, man. Look, man, don't depend on no camps. If you got one that you cool with, that if you got one that's speaking the truth and everything's good, go. If anything started to shake, something that's wrong with your spirit, that you like, hey, look, and there's gonna be problems everywhere you go. Let's just understand that. You can't go nowhere that ain't nothing gonna be at. This Israel is always smoking Israel. So don't be like, oh yeah, if anything, that's life. But you will know them by their fruit. You'll know them about how things is happening. Like for this situation I'm going through personally, or not even personally. I mean, it just happened. I don't take it personal because I'm not invested like that. I never got to the point where I'm like, oh man, I need to be around a camp. I need to be around this group of people. And if I don't, my life is over and I don't know what to do with my life. And now I need to do something to change something. I never felt like that because I always been walking with the Most High. Even before I became a commandment keeper, I was what we would call a super Christian. And that's a phrase that me and my brother name came up with. A super Christian is somebody that keeps everything that they knew was right. They keep them. They don't break the laws. Nah, yeah, I ate pork because I thought pork was not a part of that as a Christian. But as far as running the streets, selling dope, smoking, drinking, sex outside of marriage, fornicated, porn, none of that stuff, bro. Anything that we knew as a Christian that you didn't supposed to do, I call it super Christian. They won't do it. You won't catch them at the clubs. You won't catch them at a high holy day either because they didn't. All of them don't have the. I said the super Christian. The only reason they are not there is because they don't have the understanding of. Oh wait, the commandment keepers. They don't have the same understanding as a commandment keeper because that's the way. It's not nobody's fault. It was just the way we was brought up. Okay, wait a minute. That's done away with. That's why. But I'm doing everything else. And we seen super Christians see regular Christians, and they like this. They're like, bro, y'all not Christians, bro. Y'all sit here at the club Fridays and Saturday night, and then y'all want to come to church Sunday and say, oh, praise the Lord. No, we, and I think, I went from I don't think I never was a regular Christian. I was always a super Christian. And I went from super Christian, the difference between super Christians and commandment keepers is very small, but the distance between a regular Christian like they got today and a commandment keeper, years is alive. Why? Because a super Christian they're gonna seek the truth no matter what it is. Like when I was a super Christian, when I found out about these commandment keepers, Most High brought it to me. I'm like, wait a minute, they can't be sure. I thought it was done away with. And a super Christian, what they do is they go study and they study and they study and they research and they research and they research and they come to their conclusion based on being a super Christian. A super Christian always wants the truth. Obviously they're living in sin, but they don't know. And then I transformed. Once I found out the truth, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't making sense. Yeah, as a Christian, why do you say remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy and we ain't even keeping the Shabbat? It's not making sense. We working, we still eating, wait a minute. I went back to the law because like I said, Christians did not, they really wasn't reading the Old Covenant. Now I read the Old Covenant more than I read the New at this point because I'm just trying to see all what I've been missing for a long time. So that's the difference between a Christian, super Christian, and a commandment keeper. Because now a super Christian is always going to become, every super Christian, I believe, would will become a commandment keeper, but every Christian will not become a commandment keeper. A super Christian always wants the truth, and they might reject it initially, just like, you know. And then what they're going to do is going to be laying on their heart, and they're going to be like, you know what, let me go search. And that's what growing is. You know what I mean? And that's what growing is. Last day of the Feast of Tabernacle. God is good, y'all. If y'all ain't get nobody to, if y'all don't have a camp, don't feel like you need a camp to answer the God. You don't need a camp to answer the God. You gonna have to give him. That's why he said you gonna have to give him account for everything you've done. It's him. He's the one who you're gonna have to see. You ain't gonna have to see nobody else. So don't put these men above where they need to go. But if they doing the work and they doing what they need to do, then put them where they need to go. But just don't get the game twisted. You know what I mean? Understand how things work out. Understand where your true loyalty and your where your heart need to be. And with that, shalom.